Hey everybody, Scribe here. Today we're going to do a quick little video about the duties and responsibilities of the chapter Sergeant of Arms. So again, this is going to go into the section of our website for those of you who are interested in becoming a Sergeant of Arms for your chapter, or for wanting to become the Sergeant of Arms for your chapter. A little bit of the rules and regulations, your duties, what's expected from you. This is all taken out of our bylaws, so here we go. First of all, the Sergeant of Arms. Duties of the Sergeant of Arms trustee shall be: 1. Be in charge of all security arrangements for any and all chapter events. So work very closely with your events person, with your president, vice president, people who are putting on any of your events. Get together with them, appoint assistant sergeant of arms or people to help with security for any events. Find out what you need help with parking, with crowd management, with just roaming around. Make sure everybody is behaving and acting accordingly. So find out what's going on with any events. Be in from the very beginning, get into the loop so you know how you can better prepare. Number 2, if unable to attend any scheduled event, notify the president at the earliest possible time so that arrangements can be made. Number 3, coordinate, maintain, and secure all chapter equipment. Some chapters have a quartermaster, so work very closely with them. Once a year, there's an inventory that needs to be done by the Sergeant of Arms on all the chapter equipment, supplies, and everything like that, and turned back in. So make sure everything is located, is stored safely and secured, and in good working condition. Number 4, perform additional duties as directed by the President or the chapter board of directors. That could be from anything from helping with a run, to help remove unwanted people at a chapter meeting, or perform tasks that need somebody with the Sergeant of Arms security background and abilities. You also need to coordinate with the State Sergeant of Arms. Email address for the State Sergeant of Arms below. For any of your events, and if there's any state events in your area, you will be asked to help out and provide security for any state events in your area. That goes with if your chapter is hosting a state delegates meeting, your chapter will be expected to perform security for the state delegates meeting, so make sure you get enough help to help us out. And as said before, the annual inventory of all chapter property must be submitted to the State Sergeant of Arms before the December meeting. So now we're into the middle of September, so start putting together your inventories and getting them to the State Sergeant of Arms before the December meeting. If you have road captains, here's a little section for them. They are to welcome riders and introduce all the riders and participants in the run to the road captains, let them know who they are and what their jobs will be during that run. Define the destination and outline the route. So that way if anybody gets lost or cut off, they know where they're heading to and where they're going. Determine gas stops if needed. If it's a short run, there won't be any gas stops. If it's a longer run, where we will all be stopping for gas. Outline the itinerary for the day. Determine the return plans. Review riding standards, basic directions, how we're going to ride that day. Staggered riding position and safe distances. The entrances and exits of where you're leaving from and where you're going to. Lane changes that may need to happen before a turn, where that will be, who will decide when they're changing lanes. If there's any single file areas, where that will be, and the procedures for doing single file riding. Hand signals, review the most common hand signals so that everybody knows and so that they can pass the signals down the line. So when they see the signal to stop, that all the riders behind you can put up, stop, and be prepared to stop. Broken bike procedure. What do you do if your bike breaks down? Get off to the side of the road. Who's going to stop? Is there going to be a tail gunner following along? The procedures for that. Locate cell phones and first aid kits. Who's going to have them? Make sure that the rear person has at least a cell phone and some type of first aid kit. Again, if there's any follow-on truck, they have any first aid equipment and cell phones needed. Road captains should also determine the riding group, their riding level, safety, the speed that we're going to go on. Remember, in any group that we ride, we always ride, for safety's sake, always ride to the lowest level of the rider. Don't expect somebody who's brand new on a motorcycle to keep up with those who've been riding a long time and feel comfortable at high speeds. So always ride to the lowest one. Remember, the part of the ride is the enjoyment of riding together and just having a good time. Don't stress out the new people. And lastly, remind everybody to have safe and have a fun ride. That's the checklist for the road captains. Make sure that your chapter sergeant of arms and anybody helping out in the position of assistant sergeant of arms has a clearly defined shirt, usually an orange shirt, so that if something goes on, they can easily be spotted and seen and identified and go to for help. If you require any radios, please contact the state sergeant of arms and see if we can get you some radios. Most time now people have cell phones, and it's a little bit easier to communicate with cell phones. So if you do not have radios, make sure all of your security personnel have each other's cell phone numbers, have them ready to go so that they can communicate with each other. There is an incidents reports that will need to be filled out in case of an incident report. The report will have, and all these reports need to go to the state sergeant of arms almost immediately. So please include on the form. They are available on our state website and in all of the policy and procedure books that your president has. We'll have copies of the incident reports for you can use. So make several copies, keep them with you whenever you're writing a group chapter function. It has the chapter name, date, time, address of the incident, where did the incident happen, city, zip code, number of persons involved, number of vehicles involved, where the accident or the incident occurred, precisely where it happened or occurred, how and when the accident occurred. You can use the back of the form. You can use additional sheet of papers if it's rather lengthy. And then the persons involved. Make sure of every person involved you get their name, address, city, phone number, all the personation. So in case it goes any farther, we can get a hold of them to act as witnesses. We want the name of the person's parents if they are a minor. So if the person involved in the incident or accident is a minor, please get their parents' name and contact information. And also all of the security personnel, their names and contact information also. As far as witnesses, please define the types of injury, cuts, bruises, to the face, to the neck, etc. That's all written down on the incident report. You just have to circle where the injury happened. Actions taken, first aid given, and who was given by. Ambulance was called, if the ambulance was refused. Signature of the injured party refusing medical care. The ambulance, if you call an ambulance and they refuse to get on there, the ambulance will take care of having them sign off. If they refuse to let you call an ambulance, have them sign the form saying that they refuse to have any medical attention called for them. Probably the most important thing, besides all of this information, is taking pictures of everything. Nowadays, it's very easy. We all have cell phones with cameras on there, great cameras, so take pictures. If you have somebody who can help you while you're writing all this information down, get you and one of your assistants, one of the chapter members, to go around and take pictures of everything. And please submit these pictures to the State Sergeant of Arms at the address below. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Pictures can really save you. So do not be stingy with the pictures. Send everything in. Take a picture, even if you don't think it's important. It could be very well important. Other duties for the Sergeant of Arms is if we're having an event that's open to the public, keeping everybody safe. Sometimes we have to help out at other events, so keep everybody safe. At chapter meetings, if you're having a legislator or a politician or somebody come to speak with you, if the legislative person is not available, you may be needed to make sure to look for the person, make sure they get into the place okay, they know where they're going, get them situated, get them set up so that they can be called upon. If you have any other guests that we know that are coming, please see to their safety, make sure they get in the building okay, they know where they're going. Sometimes we meet in semi-public areas, so make sure they know where the meeting is at and they're coming in and they get a good seat right away. That's basically it for the chapter Sergeant of Arms. It's a great position. Probably the most important thing is while you're acting as the chapter Sergeant of Arms, no drinking, no drugs. Very obvious why we do not want our Sergeant of Arms or anybody participating as a security person during an event cannot be drinking, cannot be doing drugs. We do not condone drinking or driving. We do not condone drinking and acting as security at ABATE events. So if you have any questions, please contact the State Sergeant of Arms and they can help with any other questions that you may have or any other specific issues that you may have. So thank you very much. See ya.